Welcome to Nerdarchy, foreigners by nerd, where your mind is the mightiest weapon. I'm Nerdarchy's Dave, and with me is this telepathic titan of tabletop,
Nerdarchy's Ted. Greetings, adventurers and thought tamers. Tonight, we're peering into the future of D&D with a brand new Psion class from Unearthed Arcana 2025.
With that, let's jump into Psion Subclasses for the 2025 Unearthed Arcana. First up, what do we got, Ted?
First up is the Metamorph. Physically sculpt life and flesh. Your mastery of psionic powers turns inward. Your own flesh becomes clay to you, and you mold it to turn it into the perfect vessel of your psionic powers. Experience in manipulating your life energy also enables you to adjust the life force of friends and foes alike. So like a lot of the spellcasting of subclasses these days, you're just going to get a whole boatload of spells that get added as you gain levels. So when you take this one at third level, you get Alter Self, Cure Wounds, Inflict Wounds, Lesser Restoration. 5th level, Aura of Vitality and Haste. 7th level, Polymorph and Stone Skin. 9th level, Contagion and Mass Cure Wounds. So these are automatically always prepared for you and don't count against the spells that you would prepare that you choose.
It also definitely gives me that idea that you kind of shape and mold flesh, right?
Yeah.
One way or another. So I think it's pretty thematic. I like it.
So I feel like this one is very easily going to fit into our Under the Dome setting.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely weird enough. Sure. So level 3, that's not all we get. We get organic weapons. You can shape your limbs into weapons whenever you take the attack action or make an opportunity attack. You can reform your free hand into one of the following organic weapons: Bone Blade, Flesh Maul, Visceral Launcher. And can't wait to make that Flesh Maul. Your limb immediately returns to its previous form after your organic weapon hits or misses its target. Whenever you attack with the weapon, you can use your intelligence modifier for the attack and damage rolls instead of. You can cause the weapon to deal psychic damage or its normal damage type. You also get access to a Bone Blade. A blade made of bone springs from your forearm or extends from your hand. The blade counts as a simple melee weapon with the finesse property, and it deals a die 8 piercing damage. On a hit, you have advantage on the attack roll you make with the blade if at least one of your allies is within 5 feet of you, the target, and the ally doesn't have the incapacitating condition. Flesh Maul. Your fist and forearm coalesce into a hardened mass of flesh and bone. The maul counts as a simple melee weapon and deals die 10 bludgeoning damage on a hit. A creature hit by the maul has disadvantage on the next strength or constitution saving throw it makes before the start of its next turn. Visceral Launcher. Your hand and forearm transform into a crossbow made of muscle and sinew that fires bolts of bile. The launcher counts as a simple ranged weapon, a normal range of 30 feet and a long range of 90 feet, and it deals acid damage. On a hit, once on each of your turns, when you hit a creature with an attack roll using the launcher, you deal an extra D6 acid target. I really like these, and I really want to like this subclass. But the problem is you're basically a wizard hitting things in melee, even though you get some really cool attacks, right? The fact that you can get advantage, basically you end up having like pack tackets with the Bone Blade or the Flesh Maul giving disadvantage on strength or constitution saving throws. Heck, you got a bonus action that you could use after you hit them with this to then push them away from you. So you're not a squishy wizard type in combat anymore. And then the fact that you have the Visceral Launcher, it gives you a ranged attack. It starts off slightly better than your cantrip, but your cantrip eventually is going to outperform it.
Right.
I think, but there's reasons why that might not end up being the case later on. It does acid damage, which is good. It gives you a different damage type, but you could also just choose to do psychic damage with any of the instead of the damage listed as well. So It gives you options.
So when I look at these things, the first thing that comes to my mind is, okay, we've already talked ourselves fairly hoarse on the concept of gishes, and this falls right up there with your Hexblade, your College of Swords, your Blade Singer. You're a caster, and you're running into melee. But I always look at these things and say, okay, who is going to mix this with a warrior class? And you could easily be like, okay, well, I'm going to take a Metamorph and Psionic Warrior, combine these things together, take just enough to get my Metamorph. Well, now I'm able to strap a shield onto one arm and turn my other arm into a D10 maul, because that's some pretty sick damage. And that could technically allow you to get to like 17th level fighter, 3rd level Metamorph. You're getting a lot of swings there out of that D10 plus strapping on the shield. I think that's a pretty win combination in my book.
Yeah, and there's no cost to it either, right?
No.
That's just a thing you get to do.
Yeah. Anytime you were to go and make an attack. So it does say whenever you take the attack action or make an opportunity attack. So like it doesn't even limit you in that opportunity angle. If you're gonna swing at something, you have a weapon. So you are considered armed. So like that's yeah, armed. See? So you've got some cool flavor there. Sure, it's not the best if you want to just be like, yep, the D6 hit die, and I'm gonna charge into melee and smack things with my fist hammer, but it's pretty cool if you start mixing it with other stuff.
Yeah, and also you
But
might
that's
like
not all you get at third level. You're also going to get extend limbs. As a bonus action, you can expend one of your energy dice, and for the next minute, you gain the following benefits. Your reach increases by 5 feet, your speed increases by 5 feet, and when you cast a spell that has a range of touch and a casting time of an action, you can make the spell's range 10 feet. So you can be like, I'm going to just reach over there and touch somebody. So if you're just a little bit short, you can still make it happen.
Yeah, I guess it's okay. I don't know how amazing it is because you're spending your energy die to do it, but I mean, at third level, you're getting a lot of stuff, and also you're getting access to some really good spells. So, like, if you go the route you were talking about and multi-classing, you could probably come up with some really interesting and fun things to do.
I mean, just looking at their choice at third level, you're getting cure wounds and inflict wounds. So like both of them really speak to the hey, I sculpt flesh. So it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna just knit you back together. I'm gonna slice you open. We're all good.
You might even be better going. To be honest with you, going Eldritch Knight instead of the Psi Warrior because you're going to get more spell slots.
Sure, sure. I just was
Open.
keeping it a little thematic, but you're 100% correct.
But level 6, you get extra attack in twice. You can attack twice instead of once whenever you make an attack action on your turn. In addition, when you cast one of your Psion cantrips, that has a casting time of an action in place of one attack. So that's kind of nice. Physically attack with a weapon or with your organic weapons. At the same time, you could also blast someone with a cantrip.
Telekinetic fling.
Kinetic Blade.
6th level, you're going to get quickened healing. When you cast Cure Wounds, you can expend 2 energy dice to change the casting time to a bonus action. When you do so, you can roll an energy die and add the number rolled to the total amount of hit points restored. So it's like, all right, not only are you going to be able to throw in your Cure Wounds onto be it yourself or somebody else, you get it off as a bonus action, which means you can still womp some stuff with your weapons, and you're going to heal for more because you're using those dice.
I mean, and technically, you could heal people that are 10 feet away.
Yes.
If you wanted to go that route. Level 10, Mutable Form. When you use your extended limbs, the duration increases to 10 minutes. You gain one of the following benefits of your choice, the effect which lasts until the extended limb ends. Stony Epidermis, you have advantage on Constitution saving throws to maintain. In addition, choose one of the following damage types, acid, blood, cold, fire, lightning, piercing, or thunder. Gain resistance to the chosen damage type. Superior Stride. While you aren't wearing armor, take the dash action as a bonus action, and you have the climb speed and swim speed equal to your speed. You're hypermobile. Unnatural Flexibility. You gain a +2 bonus to AC. Your body, along with any equipment you're wearing or carrying, become pliable. You can move through any space as narrow as 1 inch, and you can spend 5 feet of movement to escape from non-magical restraints and the grappled condition. So one of the problems I'm kind of like seeing is like there's so many things for your bonus.
Sure.
You have like a ton of options.
But options can be good. You're not always going to need all of the different things at any given time. So I don't consider it bad when you're spoiled for choice. Level 14, we're going to get the subclass cap, life bending weapons. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with an organic weapon, you can expend an energy die and roll it. Each creature of your choice within a 10 feet emanation originating from you regains hit points equal to the number rolled plus your intelligence modifier. Additionally, one creature of your choice takes necrotic damage equal to the number rolled so long as they're in that area.
I love it. Hey, buddy, you're okay. You're okay. Fuck this guy right there. Fuck him.
So, like, you basically are like, all right, I'm going to siphon a little bit of life from you, and I'm going to make all of you feel better.
Yeah.
The Metamorph.
I was just going to say, it's also off your attack roll, too. You're hitting someone and then healing the people around you that you want to, except for the person you want to do more damage to.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be that one. It's just somebody within 10 feet of you. So, like, this could be your betrayal moment of like, all right, I hit the bad guy, or I hit the friend and be like, all right, now I'm a sap for you too. So this could be interesting. So all in all, I like the Metamorph conceptually. It does have all of the earmarks for problems with Gish characters. I still like it. I think it looks cool. I think I'd play it.
Even though we had already stated previously that the Psion capstone ability is a bit lackluster, I will say the Psion capstone ability with the Metamorph's capstone feature actually stack together very nicely. Something to look forward to when you hit 20th level. All right, moving on. We have the Psi Warper. Warp space with the power of your mind. Psi Warpers turn their psionic powers to manipulating the space between objects, capable of teleporting across the battlefield and creating vacuums in space. Psi Warper is never in one place for too long. We get some spells at 3rd level. They get added to your spell list. The Psi Warper spells. 3rd level, Expeditious Retreat, Featherfall, Misty Step, Shatter. 5th level is Blink and Haste. 7th is Banishment and 9th, Steel Wind Strike. Love it. Portation Circle. So I think the Shattered is kind of funny because I have no idea what that has to do with. Maybe the idea is you're sending bits and pieces of everything in there away from itself for it to work thematically. But all in all, it's a good spell list.
It is a great choice. I think all of it really does fit well with the movement. Maybe Shatter was just like, all right, we can't figure it out. Somebody roll randomly and we'll throw something in there. But it definitely adds a little bit extra pizzazz into that list because it's like, all right, sure, Steel Wind Strike and Haste are potent offensively. So adding in a little bit of offense at your first get, I'm here for it. But that's not all they're going to get at level 3. They're also getting teleportation. You can cast Misty Step without expending a spell slot and basically once a day. And you can also restore your use of it by expending an energy die. And obviously it's already on their list, so they can cast it at any point in time with their regular spell slots as well.
Which would probably make more sense if you're just short on spells. Level 3, you get Warp Propel. When a target fails a saving throw against your Telekinetic Propel, instead of pushing it, you can teleport the target to an unoccupied space you can see within 30 feet that is horizontal to you. So like off a cliff.
So this is the new norm of now, oh, that's horizontal to you because there's so many things are like, oh, well, I just teleport them up.
No, because that would be vertical to you.
Well, right. Well, what I'm saying is like
you lie down so it's vertical to you.
Well, no, like people were using these things of like, oh, I teleport them 30 feet away. Well, people have been teleporting them straight up,
yes,
so that they take the fall damage.
Yeah.
And this is not what that's designed to do. Sure, you want to push them off a cliff. There's nothing that's going to stop that from happening anymore. But no, you're not teleporting up and letting them fall. It's not what that's there for.
Or out a window or whatever. But anyway, it gives you some options. I like it.
So level 6, you're going to get a Warp Space. When you cast Shatter, you can expend 1 energy die to modify the spell so the radius of the sphere becomes 20 feet. In addition, creatures that fail their saving throw against the spell are pulled straight towards the center of the sphere, ending in an unoccupied space as close to the center of the sphere as possible. This kind of clusters them together so that maybe somebody else who's going to AoE next can come in and share the love.
Yeah, I think it's fun. It gives you some fun options. And like if there was someone outside of that range, you can always just bonus action teleport them over there too. Just come on. Level 6, you also get Teleporter Combat. Immediately after you cast Misty Step, you can cast one of your Psion cantrips that has a casting time of an action as part of the bonus action. That's pretty sweet.
So this one is really going to allow you to be awesome because essentially you can cast a cantrip twice in a round without a problem. So Misty Step is your bonus action. So as the bonus action, you're going to teleport. So you could technically be like, all right, well, I'm going to cast my cantrip, Misty Step, cast my cantrip again, or do something else. So depending upon how you want to layer things, I see this character is going to have a lot of choice and a lot of movement around the battlefield. I mean, it says it in there, like they're never in the same place for too long. So it's like, all right, they get Misty Step for free once a day. So you can always be able to do this once per long rest and double down on that. And then God forbid you actually give them a magic item that has Misty Step so many times a day. That's going to be absolutely insane.
That would be kind of fun. Too bad the Artificer doesn't get it because they could put it in one of their items because it's a level spell. Level 10, Duplicitous Target. When a creature you can see makes an attack roll against you, you can take a reaction to expend 1 psionic energy die and choose a willing creature you can see within 30 feet of yourself that doesn't have the incapacity. In addition, you and the willing creature teleport swapping places with each other, and the creature then becomes the target of the attack roll. Maybe someone with a much higher armor class, or the Raging Barbarian that's going to take half damage.
Yeah, I feel like this is like a massive bread and butter for this character. Be like, oh shit, I got a low armor class. You just hit AC 15. Paladin's got a 19. Swap.
Yeah.
You missed.
Yeah, it's the old bait and switch. Or like, oh, you thought you were in combat with the squishy? Actually, I meant the barbarian.
So I see the number of hilarious and awesome moments that are going to be propelled by that.
Between your bonus action and your reaction, you're like all over the
place. Yep. But we're still not through. We get our subclass topper, level 14, mass teleportation. As a magic action, you can expend 4 sonic energy dice and choose huge or smaller creatures within 30 feet of yourself, up to a number of creatures equal to your intelligence modifier, minimum of 1. Each of the chosen creatures is teleported to an unoccupied space you can see within 150 feet of you. An unwilling creature that succeeds on a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC is unaffected. So you can have some fun with this one. I see this could be both offensive or defensive, depending upon how you want to play with it. I think it's good stuff.
So now you can literally teleport as your reaction, your bonus action, and your action.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got one word for this subclass. Fun. It just seems fun. You run out but it seems like it would be a lot of fun.
I mean, it's like it says it right there in the description of like they're not in the same place for long. Like you could play this dude as like super hyper, and all right, they're sitting there. They could be a pacer or someone that like taps their leg up and down when they're sitting. They're hard to keep still. Or you could just be like, oh, this is very, very low key, but when things hit the fan, they're like, okay, well, I'm over there, and then I'm over there, and I'm over there.
Yeah, and so far, I really dig the subclasses. I mean, the first one, I love the theme, but I don't know how well it's going to play. This one, I love the theme, and you can see that it's going to play really well. I suspect it may even play better than I'm thinking, especially if you have a very tactile-minded group of players that work well together. You start things like Entangle, Web, and other AoE effects.
So we've got the Psychinetic, mold sonic force for creation and destruction. A Psychinetic controls their sonic powers like a malleable force. They bend their telekinetic energies into sturdy barriers and strike with the force of a battering ram. So you're going to get your Psychinetic spells. Level 3 is Cloud of Daggers, Levitate, Shield, Thunderwave. 5th is Slow, Telekinetic Crush. 7, Odaluk's Resilient Sphere and Stone Shape. 9th, Telekinesis and Wall of Force.
But that's not all, though, folks. At 3rd level, you also get Telekinetic Technique. When you use your Telekinetic Propel, you can impose one of the following effects on that target. Boost, the target's speed increases by 10 feet until the start of your next turn. Disorient, the target can't make opportunity attacks until the start of its next turn. And Telekinetic Bolt, if the target fails a saving throw, it takes force damage equal to the number rolled on your psionic energy die. So you have ways to buff and just do more damage.
Which options is always a great thing. And to have that array, that's just sweet. 6 levels are going to get an empowered attack mode. While your attack mode is active, you gain a fly speed of 60 and can hover. And when you cast a Psion spell, you can add your intelligence modifier to 1 damage roll of that spell.
Well, your attack mode just got a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not all at 6th level. You get Rebounding Field. When you cast Shield in response to being hit by an attack roll and cause the triggering attack to miss, you can expend 1 sonic energy die to launch the force back at the attacker. Attacker makes a dexterity saving throw for 2 sonic energy dice. On a failed save, the attacker takes the force damage equal to the roll, and you gain temporary hit points equal to that amount. On a successful save, the attacker takes half as much only. Let's take a really good spell and make it better.
Yeah, I mean, Shield is already awesome. So you're spending 1 in addition to you casting your Shield. And they're going to get 2 dice worth of damage, and you're going to get the temporary hit points. If they pass their save, they get half damage. So it's still one roll of the die stacked onto the fact that you know the numbers. Like your shield's going to stop the attack, so you're not getting the damage. So this is gold, and I guarantee you, if my son reads this ability, he's going to be like, I want that.
It's a good one.
All right. Level 10, Enhanced Telekinetic Crush. When you cast Telekinetic Crush, you can expend 1 sonic energy die to modify the spell so that whenever a creature fails or succeeds on the saving throw against the spell, the speed is halved until the start of your next turn. So this isn't as much fun until you get to what the spell actually does. But basically, success or failure, that speed is halved. That's kind of what you're looking for.
Yeah, you get the hamper. The 14th level, heightened telekinesis. When you cast telekinesis, you can expend 4 sonic energy dice to modify the spell so that it doesn't require concentration. If you do so, spell's duration becomes 1 minute for casting, and you can target gargantuan creatures and objects. So yeah, anytime you can take a concentration spell and not concentrate on it is a nice thing.
Yeah, that is a huge situation. Probably the best capstone of the subclasses. I read that one and I was like, holy crap, Twitch.
Yep, and they're keeping with the themes. It's strong. Like it. Telepath masters tactics in the landscape of the mind. Telepaths are masters of mind magic. They use their psionic powers for all matters of the mind, whether they bolster the mental defenses of allies or probe the thoughts of others undetected. Telepath can be a bastion of psionic aid or a crafty manipulator. So starting at 3rd level, you're going to get those telepath spells added to your list. 3rd level, Bane, Command, Detect Thoughts, Mind Spike. 5th level, Counterspell, Speak with Plants. 7th, Compulsion, Confusion. 9th, Awaken and Modify Memory. Fucking with people's heads.
I understand why, but Speak with Plants I thought was a little weird. Sure, it's a telepath. They get to communicate with things, but like they don't get Speak with Animals at 3rd level, but they get Speak with Plants at 5th. I don't know. It's like, nope, you can talk to plants, but you don't talk to animals. That's not what we do here.
Yeah, it seems a little weird, but what are you going to do?
I think, what are you afraid of stepping on the druid's toes? I don't know. Maybe they're trying to be like, oh, well, Detect Thoughts will cover it because you can read the animal. I don't know, whatever.
I mean, Speak with Plants, though, is also a really good spell. It does way more than just let you speak with plants.
Well, I've yet to see that happen in games. So 3rd level, you're going to get Mind Infiltrator as well. When you cast Detect Thoughts, you can expend 2 energy dice to modify the spell so it doesn't require spell components or concentration, and the target does not know you're probing its mind and it fails its wisdom saving throw. That's, holy crap, game changer for the mind people.
Well, yeah, there's that. And also, again, you don't have to concentrate again. It's definitely a buff for your Detect Thoughts, for sure. Which is also, I won't say I've seen it used in a lot of games, but I've definitely played in a game where it was used a lot. That makes sense.
Spoilers, the campaign's over, but campaign 3 of Critical Role has a lot of Detect Thoughts and things going on with it. Very psionic heavy things, a lot of emotions, what have you, related to certain characters. So like, I feel like this would have been something that would have been used far more often if they had access to something like that. Because like, okay, you start probing deeper and somebody passes their saving throw, they know somebody's mucking around and you're like, nope, yeah, you don't know I'm here. That's cool.
Yeah, it works much better. But that's not all. We also get Telepathic Hub. You have telepathy with a range of 10 feet. You just doubled your range of your telepathy. When you expend the Sonic Energy die as part of using your telepathic connection to increase the range of telepathy, the duration of the effect, you can simultaneously contact a number of creatures, 1 plus the number rolled on the Sonic Energy die. I mean, it takes a lackluster ability. It makes it slightly better. Still lackluster.
When you look at all the other telepath or telepathic races and classes, subclasses, waiting to 3rd level to get something that's still not as good as what some races get naturally. I think if you're going to be a telepath, anything less than 30 feet is just dumb. Like, you're right there. Like, hey, I can just mouth it. Come over here. Like, 10 feet, there's not a whole lot of times that's going to be super useful, in my opinion. I like conceptually what's here.
Well,
but
I will say, like, there's going to be some advantages to communicating with people and not other people not knowing, but
Sure.
everything else you said still kind of applies.
Sure. Oh, completely. I mean, I've used telepathy in games where I'm like, I don't want somebody knowing that I'm talking. It's incredibly useful. But to have 10 feet without having to expend a very limited resource, especially at those low levels where you only get a small handful, it's like, all right, I gotta make the choice of, am I going to limit my options in combat to potentially get up to maybe 30, 40, 50 feet? Like, it's a gamble. Like,
well, you're the next level, they're going to tempt you even more.
So the next level I actually really like, and when I looked at this one, like the layered mechanics began. So empowered defense mode. When your defense mode is active, whenever you make a saving throw, you add a D4 to the save. In addition, while your defense mode is active, you can extend this benefit to creatures you are telepathically connected to using your telepathic connection. So this is where I'm like, well, you need that longer range because holy crap, you layer this on, then you have your cleric cast Blessed, And then you get your paladin going, and you're never failing a saving throw ever again.
Well, and also you want to be connected to more of your allies too, so
Right.
more of them get the benefit. So yeah, this with Bless and the Paladin, yeah, it's pretty nice. Although it says whenever you make a saving throw, so I guess it's not just the mentals like the defensive move.
Yeah, this is all of it. So yeah, I looked at this one and I'm like, all right, let's make a group dynamic that's all about passive saving throws. Sure, you got to wait till 6th level and you got to have things going, but man,
Well, it's not all. Potent Thoughts you also get at 6th level. You add your intelligence modifier to the damage you deal with any. You're going to get boosted some damage.
it's always good if you're doing damage on your cantrips to have them boosted by your prime stat. That's just bread and butter. At level 10, you're going to get telepathic bolstering. You have a telepathy out to 30 feet now. Hey, you only had to wait to 10th level to get that. And you or a creature you can see within range of your telepathy fails an ability check or misses with an attack roll. You can take a reaction to expend an energy die, roll the die, and add the number rolled to the d20, potentially turning a failed check into a success or a miss into a hit. The psionic energy die is only expended if the check succeeds or the attack hits. Again, loving that mechanic of, hey, look, I'm going to gamble on this. Didn't pay off. No resources wasted throughout this whole document. I love when they do that.
Yeah. Although you still have to expend a die if you want to have more creature contacted so that they can get benefit from stuff. So that's kind of annoying. What are you going to do? Level 14, Scramble Minds. When you cast Confusion, spend 4 psionic energy dice to modify the spell so that the radius of the spell's sphere becomes 30 feet. In addition, creatures under the effect of the spell roll 2d10s, and you choose which roll determines the behavior on their turns. Okay, this is a great capstone ability. It takes a decent spell, extends the range on it, and then on top of that gives you more control over what.
Yeah, I thought this was an amazing situation. You get more targets, and you can muck with them to figure out exactly how best to manipulate their turns. Of like, oh, well, act normally or stand there and do absolutely nothing. You know what? I think I'm going to choose stand there and do nothing, please.
For sure. So, great ability. Another great subclasses. All the subclasses really kill it, in my opinion. The only thing is the Metamorph might be a little too squishy for all the coolness it's got packed into it. But I don't know. You guys let us know down in the comments below.
So thanks for letting us into your minds tonight. Figuratively, of course, exploring the Psion classes with all of you has been an absolute blast.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and psychic link to that bell so you don't miss a single video. Until next time.
And until next time,
stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.